Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, okay, Indian Matchmaking. If you haven't seen it on Netflix, just pause and come back to this once you've seen the whole season. But if you've watched all of it like me, I literally in one whole evening, wow, yeah, okay, don't judge me. One whole evening, I just blasted through the whole season. If you've seen all of it, then just stay with me right here. I'm gonna be just getting ready, but mainly I'm talking to you about my thoughts on Indian Matchmaking, some of the cast members, what's happened since they've come out. And yeah, I'm really excited to get into this. So if you want to know my thoughts on obviously how I got this makeup look right here, then please keep on watching. Good morning, guys. Okay, well, it's really early for me. I am going to just start by putting my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter on. I love this stuff. It's actually a really warm day today. Actually, really hot today. It is 35 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit for those of you that deal with Fahrenheit, but it's basically Dubai weather. And Dubai weather is great, but in London, yeah, it gets a bit congested. But I am not complaining in the slightest because I don't think we're going to get a heat wave like this again this year. If I wasn't doing a video right now, I would just put the Hollywood Flawless Filter on, bit of concealer, and that's it, we're good to go. But I think I'll do a little bit more because, oh my God, guys, I want to talk to you about Indian Matchmaking, Indian Matchmaker. Anyways, you know the show I'm talking about on Netflix. So guys, this show has been so popular on Netflix and I actually wanted to do like a reaction video, but I was researching it and I don't think I could because I'd get flagged for copyright. So anyway, I wanted to share my thoughts on it because guys, I feel like that show is just brown people problems. Like that whole show is brown people problems. Like it highlighted so many of them. And you know, I love talking about brown people problems, like, you know, brown girl problems. And just, I just like highlighting these kind of topics and scenarios. And this show most definitely did that. So I feel like I just have to speak on it. I'm gonna go through the characters, right? Actually, not all of them. I don't know what I'm doing, but first of all, can we just discuss Seema Taparia? Is that your name, honey? But boy, oh boy, like honestly, I feel like she's like the typical auntie. Like she is kind of a perfect example of who I am basing my podcast around, which is not out yet. It's coming out soon. I know you guys are asking me when is it out, and I promise you, basically we are working on getting some extra promotion and stuff finalized for the podcast, which is why it's taking a little bit longer. But otherwise, all of my episodes are basically done. But yeah, anyway, my podcast, if you don't know, is called What Would the Aunties Say? And Seema Taparia, I'm just going to call her Seema from Mumbai. She is that typical auntie that's going to tell you to compromise, and she's going to, you know, she's going to say that, oh, this person's fair skin. I mean, this whole thing touched on colorism so much, and I'm actually so surprised that Netflix, it's a good thing that Netflix aired this because it's highlighting the problem with colorism that we have in our culture and society, and how fair skin is more beautiful, because she kept saying like, oh, that she's fair. And then another thing was she's fair, she's thin. Thick is cute too. Either way, like it doesn't matter. Like you just need to, like, it was basically, even though she was giving biodatas and all of that, I don't know what it is, but I just really don't like that word, biodata. Yeah, even though she was giving like biodatas of the candidates, shall we say? I don't even know. When she would talk about them, it would be very much like appearance based, and I didn't like that. Okay, so I feel like my makeup's not gonna take me too long today, so I wanna kind of get through talking about some of the characters. Maybe I won't speak about all of them, but some of the main ones that really stuck out to me. And I wanna start off with Arpana. Some people say Arpana but I'm saying Arpana. I don't know, and I'm so sorry if I've got it wrong. Obviously, when she first came on the screen, myself and I know a lot of you were just like, what? Are you even ready to be on this show? Like, are you even ready to be with anyone? Because, I mean, okay, one thing I would agree with Seema when it comes to compromising is you need to compromise in your marriage, or you need to compromise in your relationship when it comes to, I don't know, like some things. Yes, of course, every relationship needs compromise. So I completely agree with that. But in terms of like compromising with what you want in a person, yes, again, some things it's like, okay, he's 5'10" and not 6 foot, like, but he's an amazing person and he's literally not far off 6 foot. Is that life-changing? No. So that would be like a fair compromise. Okay, back to Arpana. Yeah, I just felt like she was a bit too harsh. Like when she was saying things like, oh, I don't want to be with a funny guy. And it was almost as if like she doesn't want someone to make her laugh. Like it was just really odd the way she was coming across and saying that kind of stuff. But I actually watched a interview with her and she was basically saying that like how she was portrayed on screen, it's not actually her. If I think about it, like although I didn't really like her that much, to be honest, while watching the show, I do have to cut her a bit of slack because I think this is TV at the end of the day. This is entertainment, and they're not going to show you 6 or however many people. They're not going to show you that many all lovely, positive experiences. They need to switch it up. This is entertainment. So they're going to show you someone that's a bit more challenging, and they're going to show you someone on the other end of the spectrum who's so lovely. Nadia. Yeah, my girl. But they really like did kind of switch it up in terms of characters. And I'm saying characters because at the end of the day, and this is another thing that she was saying, is that she keeps saying the word characters and she's like, I'm not a character, I'm a human, like I'm a real person, this is real life, and I wasn't a character, but obviously I'm being portrayed as a character, and I get that. At the same time, I'm like, you do know that you was entering into a Netflix, big boy Netflix shows. I mean, that's kind of entirely on you, how you want to portray yourself on Netflix. So in some sense, I have to kind of cut her a bit of slack to be like, is that really fair? Was that really her? And it also, in some ways, I think she's just a very strong-minded girl, and she just knows exactly what she wants and what she doesn't want. And another thing she said about her being, her not wanting to be with a guy that's funny, was that she just said that, no, I don't mind being with someone that's funny, but I don't want to be with the guy that is like, comes into the room and is like, trying to be the main focus of attention. Like, I don't want to be with that guy. And you know how she said like she didn't like it when they're talking to the waitress or something like that? She also said that that was taken wrong, because she said what she meant was, I don't mind, like I like talking to the waitress as well, or waiter, but when like you're sitting across the table from someone and then you're spending 10-15 minutes speaking to just them and not including her in the conversation, and then just in general, like that's kind of jarring. That's kind of like, ugh, okay, like, are you here with her or me kind of thing. So I actually get that, because I would 100% talk to anyone. I would talk to a waiter, waitress, whatever. But if I'm on a date and I've come with you, I'm going to keep that conversation a bit minimal. So, or I'm going to include you and it's going to be the 3 of us in this whole conversation. So I completely understand that. And I think things on TV definitely get taken out of context. So we have to bear that in mind, because I feel like it's really unfair for her to get like completely slated, for her to receive like horrible, nasty messages. I just think that's a bit far. It's one thing to think something of someone, but keep those thoughts to yourself rather than kind of sending them to her. I wanted to say so much more. Like, I thought I was going to come on here and completely blast her. But since seeing this interview of her, I actually feel like, no, it's not fair. She didn't get portrayed in the way that she would want to. And that is partly her fault, I have to say. But I feel like we did actually go on a journey with her. But anyway, moving on. Nadia. Nadia's me. See when she was like crying and all of that? I feel like everybody loved Nadia, and also just everyone wanted Nadia to not win, but do you know what I mean? Win in the sense of like actually find love. And that would have been so nice. But I saw a short clip of her speaking after, and yeah, basically her and the guy that she went on that really, really nice date with, they're not talking anymore. But she said that that was still one of her best dates ever, but they're just not talking, and like it's not gone anywhere, which is really sad. And oh my God, can we just discuss the guy that freaking, left her hanging when he was meant to meet her friends? First of all, my friend, if you are not interested, you should have still turned up, because you are on TV. Like, you are on Netflix, and now you look like a twat on Netflix. And now no girl is gonna trust you. I wouldn't trust you. Guys, I said I don't want to wear a lot of makeup today, and it's just the everyday beat is going on. It's not even a lightweight version, it's just kind of normal. Okay, who else was there? Wait, oh my God, before we actually discuss the characters, I've just remembered the level of astrology in this show. What the hell? What was he doing? Face reading. Is that even accurate? Is that even accurate? But I'm not gonna lie, who was the astrologer that Arpana saw? Obviously, now I think about it, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, I need to find this guy, because he is telling her some real stuff, and I need to know about my life. But now, obviously, after the show, he said that like she'll be married by now or something, and obviously she's not, so obviously it's just all wrong. Okay, so my family actually believe in astrology, and I don't know, I did believe in astrology, and I feel like in the last few years I've really started to question it a little bit more, and maybe I kind of just roll with life the way it is instead. And but whereas before I would go and ask my mum and say, Mum, can you speak to and find out? Because, you know, when you're feeling a little bit lost, not to say I have found myself, because I really haven't, I still feel lost all the time, but I don't know, maybe when you're just a bit more lost, you want to put your faith in something, and you kind of just want to know. And I don't know, in India, like, there's just so much importance on astrology, and like, if you think about it, in Sikhi, you're not actually meant to believe, like, they don't believe in astrology. So it's all like, everything is just so contradictory. Nothing makes sense to me. And I just think, why do people pay so much money in India for astrology? And like, you get people that are like in poverty, they are broke, and they are spending their money on astrology. And then the astrologer is going to go and tell you where this diamond, where this stone that costs a lot of money, and people will, with no money, will find money to go and pay for these stones so that they've got hope, rather than, I don't know, you could use that money to support your daily life, or, you know, do something else. And also, where it's like, oh, the talking about you can't get married on this day or that day because of the stars. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, my own parents have done this to my siblings that have got married, and they've like based it around the stars. And I just think, I feel like, yes, the stars are important. I don't know, but why couldn't anyone predict that coronavirus was coming? But you can give me a wedding date. Like, people, some of them say that like, oh, by this time in June you'll be married, or by this time in September you'll have a job. And it's like, okay, but you can see that, but you can't see that like life is about to change drastically. I just don't, like, I don't know. I'm confused. Somebody make it make sense to me. But there was a lot of importance on that. And I just think if things are meant to be, they're meant to be, like, regardless. Okay, so I've got some of the characters. I need to stop saying characters. Cast members' names here. One of them, the other guy, Pradyuman. What did we think? Okay, I'll tell you what I think. I think he is literally like the classic Indian guy with money that just is so self-obsessed and love themselves. And this is so common in India, where guys, and you know what, over here as well, and this is what puts me off, because this is why I end up dating guys. I was talking to my friend about this, and I end up dating guys that have less than me, or have come from less than me, and not intentionally. I end up getting on better with them because I feel like they're more humble, they're more grounded, and I just prefer that. And where I've met like Asian guys that have come from maybe the same kind of background as me or more than, I just get a bit put off because of their attitude. Whereas I'm like someone that's like had a good life, but I have the mentality of a broke person. I have the mindset of someone that's like come from nothing. Me personally, I've come from nothing. I mean, I've worked for everything myself, but in my mind, I don't know. I don't think that we've come from poverty, but I just feel like we're not bigger or better than what we are, where we're from. I feel like we're just, whereas the guys that have more or have come from money and then they're like really like uppity about it, it cringes me out. It cringes me out. It makes me sick. It literally, I just think, who do you think you are? Like, yes, have money, have money, but have money and be humble. So he just reminded me of that classic Asian guy. And then I shouldn't generalize and I don't want to insult anyone. But at the same time, I feel like in India, people are very like self-obsessed. Like when I've been to weddings there the last 2 times, everyone, me and my brother were shocked, had their phones out and they just would not stop taking selfies all day. All day, selfies here, selfies there, selfie. No one like just lives in the moment. They are just so obsessed with like pictures and posting and showing to everybody else. And that's the mentality in India. It's very show-offy, like look what I'm doing. And maybe not just in India, but that's an Indian mentality thing where you want to show off. And it just shocked me because I was just like, what the hell? Anyway, and I feel like him with, you know, the pictures on his door and of himself and how he just really reckons himself was really like, mate, you're not all that. Okay, let's discuss Ankita. So Ankita, I had mixed feelings towards her personally. I feel like a lot of people, they loved her because she's an independent brown girl. And a part of me was like, yes, I love that. That is actually great. That's what I do like. But I don't know, there was just something about her that just didn't sit right with me and I can't put my finger on it. But I think it's just the fact that she was, I don't know. I don't know, but there was just something I just didn't like about her that much. I mean, good for her for going on the show and promoting her business, which is amazing. That is like a boss move. She's fully taken the opportunity and she's like, I'm promoting my business on here. Whether she knew she was going to do that or not, that's exactly what she did, which is great. There was just something about the time that I did feel for her was when she met, I think it was Gita, the other matchmaker, who we all thought Gita was going to be better than Seema. We were like, yes, okay, finally there's someone that is going to be a bit more understanding, a bit more modern. And Gita, mate, she was just as bad as Seema. And Gita, I felt for her when they didn't tell her about the guy that's divorced. I personally think she still should have carried on dating him, but it was really, this is the thing in India, like they would rather not tell you that he's divorced. It's like when someone's dying, they don't want to tell the person that's dying that they're dying. They'll tell the family, but it's like, just tell the person. They didn't want to tell her that he's divorced, and then he didn't tell her, but I don't know. I think if they got on, she should have definitely given it a second chance. I feel like that stigma of divorce really, it just needs to go now. It really needs to go now. People need to stop judging people for being divorced or all of that. I just think it's not fair. Okay, now let's talk about Akshay. And I mean, how can we talk about Akshay and not talk about his mum? Like, or do we talk about his mum first? Because boy, is she the priority. Wow, again, my worst nightmare. Please, hold on, let me see if the girl and him are together still. Oh, Akshay called off the ceremony. So they had the engagement, but then Akshay's called it off. You know what? See, this is what I'm saying. Like, why do that to the girl? Like, why? Just because your mum is pressuring you to get married by a certain time and get engaged, you've now led this girl on, made her think that you actually want to marry her, and now when the cameras are off, or when you've actually realised, oh shit, I actually have to marry this person, you've now let her go. Like, no. Yeah, so Akshay, honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I actually think he's either not ready, or I genuinely think he's actually secretly gay. That's my initial thought. When I was watching him, I just think this guy is coming up with, like, I just feel like he could be gay, and he obviously he cannot say that. He cannot tell anyone. Obviously you can see the pressure from his family and his mum and all of that. Mothers like that, I just think, like, what is possessing you to be this way? Like, how is that even acceptable? Like, how do you even feel good about yourself? And it's just another world for me. And I know that it happens not just in India. I know it happens here as well. So yeah, it's just really horrible and scary to think that you are pressuring your child, whether it's a girl or boy, into getting married, and making them feel also like, do you know that it could really make that person feel like they're not good enough because they haven't found someone yet? And I completely understand that, like with Ankita, why she felt like, I don't want to get married or when she didn't feel good enough, because, you know, people commenting on her weight and her image and things like that, when she is good enough, like she's running her own business, she's an incredible person, she's a strong girl, and she's good enough for someone. Like, just, yeah, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Image was so important. Like, you have to be fair skinned, thin. Those were the kind of things, like the criteria and things that they were listing for someone that is a good candidate. And it was just, like, can you tell I've got more pissed off and angry as we've gone through this video? Like, at the start I was like, oh, Indian matchmaking, let's talk about it. And now I'm like, actually, I'm really annoyed. Let's really quickly touch on Vyasa. Vyasa, oh my god. Okay, so I really felt for him. I just thought he was a really sweet guy. I would want him to be one of my friends. So this report says, despite Seema's face reader predicting that he and veterinarian Rishi were meant to be, things didn't work out between them. See? Like, what does that tell you? And you was fully gonna... But, like, the fact that Seema is even going to these people is a joke. And then she's coming and telling them, like, oh, yeah, this is the person that's meant to be for you because the face reader said... And then you put more pressure on your relationship to make it work because you're thinking, okay, so we're being told that this is it. You're the one. And this is, like, meant to work. And it's just pressure. You don't actually get to enjoy, like, riding out a relationship. But yeah, oh my god. Okay, so Vyasa is still single, and I really felt for him with like his story about his dad. If that was me and he was dating me, and he needed to tell me that, honestly, something like that would just never bother me. It would just never, like, okay, your dad's in prison. Okay, bye. Like, I know it would probably bother my parents or my dad, but it wouldn't bother me. I don't know. I just think in our generation, we're a lot more, like, forgiving for people's circumstances and situations. And we don't blame, like, that person for their parents' mistakes as much, I think. Like, you know, if they're going through something and it's not their fault, then you really need to consider that. Guys, I just applied a little wing on the ends of my eyes and I just put mascara on, and this is the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes Mascara. Look at my lashes. I mean, I knew I loved this mascara, but when I'm like, I use other ones and then I go back to this and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. It's literally so good. So good. Okay, so I'm just going to use my Huda Beauty Silk Balm and we are good to go. I'm going to go and have a picnic today because it's, like I said, it's really hot. Let's just hope this makeup lasts. Oh my god, we need to 100% set this with Urban Decay All Nighter. Guys, I'm obsessed with my Dior Backstage foundation. Like, every time I wear it, it's just flawless, and I didn't even put on a lot. So guys, this right here is my finished look. I'm just glad that I got to talk to you about Indian matchmaking and share my thoughts. It would be really interesting to know what your thoughts are. If you agree with me, disagree with me on anything, leave it down below in the comment section. I just wanted to share my opinions and, you know, talk about things that are a bit close to my heart, seeing as I love speaking about, you know, these kind of topics. Yeah, it just really was highlighting issues that I often speak about myself. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to know what your thoughts are. Leave them down below in the comment section. Let's get a discussion going. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy this style of video. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And also, don't forget to follow me on the gram, TikTok, everywhere else. It will all be listed in the description box. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye.